since the Church has and still does condemned even modest acts of lonely self-abuse and encouraged people, well, not enjoined them to abstain from them, it's quite clear that what you abstain from under church instruction is not going to kill you. I mean, I will grant you that, but I will also think you will have to admit that you are the father, if not the mother, of a gigantic tautology. Teaching of that kind, teaching about abstention, clearly cannot lead to death from sex. But to say that AIDS is death from sex is, I think, to commit an obscenity. I'm sorry to have to say that the brothers and sisters of our society who have succumbed to that appalling disease did not die of sex or of their sexuality. And remember, homosexuality is not just a form of sex, it's a form of love. They died. That's interesting. I wondered what kind of a growl I might get there. Well, I'll repeat it then. Homosexuals practice not just a form of sex, but a form of love. If you can't live with it, I think you're the poorer. However, what they died of was a filthy virus which can and will be cured. And the clear implication of what Dr. Donoghue said was that it was some kind of judgment on their sexual preference. I'm sorry I can't sit here, rather stand here, and take that. I'll give you an example which you, again, might think was extreme, but it's not. During the Reagan administration, there was a search for blood to do experiments to find out what's happening with AIDS. The search was to find blood that had no sexual transmitted disease contamination in it. In other words, the blood of people who'd never had any kind of disease. And I don't think you'll find, actually, that in the countries where Holy Mother Church rules, and where, by the way, it does make rules for non-believers on the accessibility and availability of contraception, where it can, and divorce, in Spain, in Italy, in Ireland. It's been tried many times, it's been defeated, but you've no right to say that the Church has not tried to legislate for non-believers. No right at all, that's a flat lie. And in many of these countries, syphilis and gonorrhea is not unknown, even among believers. I hate to break it to you, but to those of you who've been in confessionals probably know it already. So the search was on in America. Who has the cleanest blood? Who has the blood that is freest of all venereal trace for these experiments? The Department of Health went out to look for it. Well, there are two groups. One is nuns. I don't make nun jokes. Never have. Resent the accusation that I do. One is nuns, the other is female homosexuals. Lesbians, as some of people, I think, like to call them, especially people who are slightly too interested in this subject, as I suspect Dr. Donoghue of being. Well, there was a lesbian organization in San Francisco called Blood Sister, which agreed to give blood. It's pure, uncontaminated blood for this experiment, and a member of the Reagan administration, a junior member of it, went to a dinner to honor this group because, if you remember, AIDS was left to voluntary initiative. It wasn't a national health question or anything socialist or totalitarian like that. It was to be left up to volunteers, this plague. And for going to the dinner just to recognize women who'd given their pure blood to help their gay brothers, he was fired because he'd committed an immoral act and recognized an immoral practice. Well, this is why I don't think secular morality needs to be defended from the barbaric superstitions and guilts and obscene suggestions that are made by the godly, or from the repressions and unguessable motives that lie behind people who talk and think and sound like that. Thank you.